Hey everyone, welcome back to Collecting Nolan. This is Russ, and it's that time of the week where we look at the top selling Nolan Ryan cards on eBay. So let's go ahead and get started.
Number 10
is the 2019 Topps Dynasty number LDA-KR dual autograph featuring the legendary Sandy Koufax and Nolan Ryan, ungraded, that sold for $2,977. This card is phenomenal. It's kind of tough getting a Koufax signature, so to get both Nolan and Sandy is just fantastic. 2019 Topps Dynasty was distributed in one card boxes. Nolan has 5 cards in this set with 2 dual auto cards. The other one pairs him with Shohei Ohtani.
Number 9
is the 2005 Upper Deck 4000K Club with Roger Clemens, Nolan Ryan, Steve Carlton, and Randy Johnson, with all 4 autographs and a PSA 9 for the card and PSA 9 for the auto that sold for $3,000. This card is a frequent flyer on the show, but I think this is the highest one I've ever seen. There are only 3 copies of this card graded similarly, and only 1 card graded higher. A PSA 8 copy of this card sold in December of 2024 for $1,195.
Number 8
is the 1968 O-Pee-Chee number 177 Jerry Koosman and Nolan Ryan rookie card, and a PSA Fair, or as I and others like to call them, Fresh 1.5, that sold for $3,748. There are only 8 PSA 1.5s out in the wild, and only 207 graded copies of the O-Pee-Chee Nolan rookie in general. For comparison, there are over 10,000 graded copies of the Topps rookie card, so the O-Pee-Chee is much rarer. There are only 175 cards graded higher. There are no PSA 10s or 9s of this card. No recent sales for comparison could be found.
Number 7
is the 2022 Topps 5-star triple autograph with Nolan Ryan, Shohei Ohtani, and Mike Trout, numbered 4 out of a possible 5, and a BGS 9 for the card and 10 for the autographs, that sold for $4,050.01. 2022 Topps 5-star was distributed in 2 card boxes. Nolan Ryan had 6 cards in this set, including this triple auto, which is the only triple auto featuring him in the set.
Number 6
is the 1993 Finest Refractor number 107 and a PSA 8 that sold for $4,250. There are only 153 copies of this card graded in the PSA database, and there are 53 PSA 8s, accounting for 35% of all graded copies. A PSA 8 of this card sold for $3,083 earlier this month on eBay.
Number 5
is the 1972 Topps number 595 and a PSA 9 that sold for $5,311 after 48 bids. This is Nolan's first Topps card with the Angels, and there are 7,663 graded copies of this card in the PSA database. The 195 PSA 9 graded copies of this card account for 3% of the total graded population, and there are only 9 cards graded higher. Recently, a PSA 9 copy of this card sold for $4,901 on eBay in July of this year.
Number 4
is the 1986 Topps Tiffany number 100 and a Gem Mint PSA 10 that sold for $5,911. There are 46 PSA 10 copies of this card out there, which accounts for 8% of the 600 total graded population for this card. A previous PSA 10 copy of this card was also sold for by 4 Sharp Corners on eBay in July of this year for $8,100. So this buyer got this card for a pretty good discount. Get this, just 2 years ago in December of 2023, a PSA 10 copy of this card sold on Fanatics Collect for a mere $1,830.
Number 3
is the 1970 Topps number 712 and a PSA 9 that sold for $8,988 after 47 bids. There are 131 PSA 9 graded copies of this card out in the wild, accounting for approximately 2% of the graded population. There are only 3 PSA 10 copies of this card known to exist. This is the second week in a row where a PSA 9 of this card has shown up on the list. The one last week had nearly perfect centering and sold for $12,000. Another PSA 9 sold last week for $10,000. It looks like the buyer got a pretty good deal on this one.
Number 2.
Is the 1968 Topps number 177 Jerry Koosman and Nolan Ryan rookie card, and a PSA 8 that sold for $12,000. Out of the entire 18,177 graded population, there are 758 PSA 8 cards, which is approximately 4% of the graded population. There are only 203 cards graded higher, including 1 PSA 10 and 68 PSA 9s. PSA 8 copies of the Nolan Ryan rookie card have recently sold for between $8,100 on Fanatics Collect back in April of this year to $9,000 on eBay in June of this year.
And finally, number 1.
Is the 1969 Topps number 533 and a PSA 9 that sold for $12,088. Out of the 10,109 graded card population, there are only 130 PSA 9 graded cards of this card, which accounts for about 1% of the graded population. There are only 3 PSA 10 graded copies of this card out there. A PSA 9 copy of this card sold for $11,211.11 on eBay in August of this year. Guys, that wraps it up for this week. I hope you enjoyed the show. Please let me know what you think of all the sales, and I'll see you at the next one. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye.